It seems to me, first of all, from what I understand from doctors, that's really rare. If it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down.
And when it comes to establishing your worldview, I was curious, what newspapers and magazines did you regularly read before you were tapped for this to stay informed and to understand the world?
I've read most of them, again, with a great appreciation for the press, for the media.
But like what one specifically, I'm curious that you...
all of them, any of them that have...
Can demonic spirits attach themselves to inanimate objects? The answer is yes.
Welcome to Twat Waffle of the Week.
So, welcome back to Twats. I had to take a few weeks of me time due to the heat, which was making a living hell out of my life. Well, not excessively hot. It stayed below the 90s. It was really uncomfortable. I just don't handle the heat well, like I used to. So, with that said, for some odd reason, Answers in Genesis, and the Ark Encounter, and the Creation Museum, etc., has been front and center of my thoughts of late. And it could be because I do quite a bit of reading on them to keep abreast of what bullshit they're pulling. But this latest news story, and it's not even a news story, but I'll get to that, takes the cake. Basically, Hemant Mehta has reported that the other day Fox News did a report on a reporter or some type of staff member who went to the Ark Encounter for family vacation and then filed a report on him. Well, as Hemant noted, this was a paid advertisement. In other words, Ken Ham paid for this. This was not a vacation. It just blows my mind. I mean, according to FTC law, if I understand correctly, when a company receives this type of tit for tat, they have to note it. We do, like in our blogs, when we do affiliate marketing. So it's really no difference for Fox News. But and this is something that Hemant pointed out, that Ken will be just rolling in all the adulation and praise that Fox News is giving them. No, he fucking paid for it, you moron. But yeah, that's how my week started. And this kind of sort of goes in line with the next story. What I don't get concerning the Christian Taliban, why do they lie? I mean, everything these idiots say is a lie.
If you listen, I said it, I'm sure Julie Green said it, and a few other prophets said it. We said it several months ago that the population of this person in office right now is going to dwindle.
Oh, his popularity, it already has. Yeah. It's going to keep falling. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's going to dwindle. Now, what I'm saying right now is not a prophecy. These are constitutional facts. When a sitting president popularity drops under 20%, the Congress and military can step in and make decisions. That's all I'm going to tell you.
And you know his popularity is propped up. He's already underneath of that. I think they have him at like 38% right now. Last on Sunday.
But once it goes 20% and under, that gives Congress a right and the military a right to step in and make decisions and move a person out of a position. The only reason why that hasn't happened yet is because the number 2 in charge is not greater, is worse than number 1.
Yeah.
So that
honestly, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when the miracle comes in. The miracle comes in with God.
He'll remove every one of them.
Yeah.
He'll remove every seat.
That's the legal aspect.
No, sir. Those are not facts. There are only 2 ways to legally remove Biden from power: impeachment and invoking the 25th Amendment. That's it. There's no other way. And what's scary about this is that these lies that Johnson is spouting remind me of David Barton. And speaking of, this next story. Now, you'll have to notice that in what he was saying, he gave himself an out when he stated, quote, "I literally can show you a Bible verse in the Bible and show you language," which is the key word, "in the Constitution, and you'll go, that's the same language," end quote.
So most Americans today can read the Constitution because they don't know the Bible. They don't see Bible verses in the Constitution. They're all over it. And that's a problem with our biblical literacy today. But I literally can show you a Bible verse in the Bible and show you language in the Constitution. You go, that is the same language. Yes, it is.
If you've listened to Barton enough, when he says that the Bible is quoted, and you're like, where? I mean, you go through we'll say the Constitution, because he likes using that, and you're like, where? Where's this quoted? Oh, I didn't mean to quote, it's the same language. You have to watch with him. That's one of his favorite little tactics. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I just find it hysterical that it took God 40 plus years to destroy the Guidestones. What's funnier, I guess, the apologetics that is being used to justify this happening is totally mind-blowing. In our next clip, here's one example. I don't believe the videos they put out there. There's no timestamp on them. End quote. Less than 10 seconds later, in the same video clip, they show a video of the destruction of the Guidestones with a timestamp visible. Does anybody proof their stories?
Georgia Guidestones was an example of that, and thank God they're gone.
As
I
Lazarus
think
died
it was
off?
lightning.
Could have been. Like, that's the
I
thing.
think it was like,
Jill
I don't
Lawrence,
believe
we
the
haven't seen
videos
them.
they put out. There's no timestamp on them. It was like super low. It was sketchy. I think they're doing a mass cover up to hide that God said, and shot a laser or a lightning bolt down. That is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Listen.
I believe it.
And what makes this kind of brings a full circle in a sense, Candace Taylor is literally celebrating the act of vandalism that destroyed the Guidestones. I mean, she is in her glory. She says in one of her tweets on the 6th, I believe it is, quote, "God is God all by himself. He can do anything he wants to do. That includes striking down satanic Guidestones," end quote. Then there's Stu Peters and his take on the matter.
I'm sure a lot of you are now aware, the other day the Georgia Guidestones were destroyed in some kind of a blast. One of the tablets with the commandments on them smashed to pieces, and the rest of the Guidestones were deemed a safety hazard and demolished by the state with a backhoe. Well, now police and the media are claiming that the Guidestones were destroyed in a bombing. There's video of the Guidestones being destroyed, and the most likely explanation isn't a bomb, but instead a lightning strike. There's a streetlight immediately next to the Guidestones, and at the exact moment that they are destroyed, the light brightens immensely, just like you'd expect if there was an electrical surge. So the most likely case isn't a bombing, which so far authorities have released no evidence of, but instead the most likely explanation is lightning, which would also make perfect sense because it's entirely appropriate for God to personally destroy the Georgia Guidestones.
Lightning from God. My question, Stu, is which God? He doesn't really clarify that. Also, Stu seems to forget there was video of the car that was used to plant the lightning, and that was borrowed from a YouTube comment. But again, Hammett sums this debacle up well. Quote, "Either way, if this is a victory, then who won? Who knows? If a satanic monument was destroyed, it's not like our lives are any better today. If it was just an expensive toy for a long-dead eugenicist, we will still not have lost anything of value. But with so many mindless things that eventually become traditions, we have lost something that was special to a lot of people. They put their own interpretations on slabs of rock, and a little piece of joy was taken from them. The city of Alberton has lost its most prized attraction. Ultimately, the monument was blown up by people whose motives remain unknown, but who may have believed the lies they were being fed by right-wing conspiracy theorists. As local historian Raymond Wiley told Religious News Service, the Guidestones were meant to survive the apocalypse, but they could not survive Southern culture. A frivolous yet fun monument was likely shattered due to Christian superstition and a mindset that says anything some deemed unchristian must be destroyed at all costs, end quote. So, overall, the Guidestones may or may not have been any value for anybody. For me personally, they were a curiosity with a questionable origin, and I have actually seen the Guidestones twice since they've been built. I didn't think they were anything special, just slabs of rock with writing on them. If you want to spend your money, I guess that's the best way to do it. Now, I will admit that the possible association with eugenics is very troubling. And it does warrant a definitive rebuke, especially if we take our U.S. history into any consideration. As for the other 9 tenets, I don't see any harm in them. I might be missing something. So, who knows? You know, for 30 years, the Guidestones really didn't garner much attention except for the occasional freak show along the way. It really wasn't until the last 10 years, maybe, that the nationalist type people, dominionists, etc., paid them any attention. Then they all of a sudden, oh, they're satanic. Weren't they satanic when they were built 30 years ago? And this takes me back to my original question. Why did it take God 40 years to allegedly destroy such a satanic icon? I will leave you with that thought. Till next week. Peace out.